Good morning, A to Z Sports Nashville. It is not just any old Thursday here on the A to Z Sports Morning Show. It is a NFL kickoff Thursday, so the energy is high out of the gate, baby. Football is back. JT, how excited are we for what should be a beatdown of the Cowboys to open the season in glorious fashion this evening?
Absolutely. Football is back. Easton, this is going to be a big show today, breaking down our Titans take purges and our predictions. And most importantly, it's the last show for both of us before we're talking about real football. No more of this fake football, what ifs. We get to see real football starting tonight, and I could not be more happy.
You're technically wrong about that because you and Austin are going to have to do a pregame show on Sunday. But after that, you'll get to talk about real football that has happened. It's going to be a great show today because this is JT and I's season preview for the Titans. The entire show is all about predictions for the upcoming season. And off the top, the majority of our show today will be our Titans Take Purge, a segment we have done in the past on a former show, in a former life. We are now bringing it with us to A to Z Sports because it's just so darn fun. We love to do the Take Purge. And if you followed us on the Hot Read podcast a couple of years ago, then you would know how much fun the Take Purge is, how much fun you all are going to have in the Take Purge today. We're going to explain what exactly the Take Purge is here in just a minute, but it's an opportunity for you to fire off some takes that really nowhere else is giving you the chance to fire off these takes without being held professionally or even casually responsible for them. So we're gonna say what's on our chest today. We're also going to get into some season-long predictions for Cam Ward, for MVPs on the defense, for we've got a whole rundown. I'm forgetting off the top of my head. We've got a whole rundown of some prediction questions for JT and I to stamp our thoughts on the Titans season before things kick off. And then we will be able to revisit it in a matter of weeks or months and probably laugh at how wrong we were. So we need you guys in the comments today because we want to hear your takes. We want to share all the takes from the comments. Maybe your takes will inspire our takes. Maybe our takes will inspire your takes. Today's a take show because it is the season preview. So JT, before we get started with all of that, tell the folks what they need to do.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. As Jeff says, we're back to a third. We're no longer the B team. We're back down to the third string, as Jeff
What
says.
happened?
I don't know. But third string Thursday, I guess. Good morning, everybody. Good to see all of you in here today. Justin is sharing the sentiments of many people in the chat. Football is finally back. Good to see all of you here this morning. Maven and Andrew and Jonathan and everybody here in the chat. Good morning to all of you. I like Ray Skull's comment. 3 days away, boys, in the chat. Then you all get to ride the roller coaster. That is our abusive relationship as Titans fans. I couldn't say it better than myself.
That's right.
And Chicago says, Buenos dias. Good to see all of you guys in here. Before we get started this morning, make sure we need a couple of things from you guys. Make sure you are liking the show. Like the show. Make sure you are subscribed as well. Share the show with a Titans friend and a Titans fan. Get them in here this morning to get their takes off their chest as well. Excited to get into it today.
Yep, let's get it started officially. JT, welcome into the A to Z Sports Morning Show live on a Thursday, powered by BTA Sports. We're live every weekday morning at 8:05 Central Time, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links tweeted out segment by segment on our Twitter feed at ATOZ Sports. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more of that great Titans coverage we've got coming your way. And leave us a 5-star Google review for A to Z Sports. We really appreciate those. We got to thank our sponsors for making the show happen and helping out you guys at home. Wilson County Hyundai. Make Wilson County Hyundai a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon or WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine, boneandjointtn.org. The Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs, local and online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short, buy a golf cart with 2 locations to serve you, Columbia and Gallatin, boterocarts.com. And Window Nation, buy 2 windows and you'll get 2 for free. Make no payments for 2 years at windownation.com. JT, today's the Take Purge. And for those that are uninitiated, let's kind of explain what that is before we dive headlong into it. If you have seen the Purge movie, I believe it's really a horror franchise at this point. And I'm sure that there's many terrible examples of the Purge that have now been created, probably TV shows as well. But the original Purge was a cultural moment. It was a hot movie. because it was a really unique idea. And if folks aren't familiar with the Purge movie, I guess I'll explain. It's a fictional reality in which America has decided they will solve all crime by allowing all crime for, it was like 12 hours?
24 hours.
Is it 24 hours? Okay, one full day's worth
Yep.
of crime where everything is legal, all emergency services are down. May God help you because he's all you got. That's the whole thing. And so one day a year, everybody is fending for their lives because they're worried about anybody that has potentially slighted them might come for them and try to kill them. That's the whole thing. And the world is allowed to purge their souls of whatever hate is in their heart so that the other 364 days of the year, people don't commit crimes. It's a silly idea, but it makes for a good horror movie. Well, our friends, JT and I, we are lucky enough to be friends with the guys over at the Ringer Fantasy Football Show, Danny Kelly, Danny Heifetz, Craig Horlbeck. We enjoy listening to them because they do great, really comedy content for fantasy. They're very funny guys. And they originated this idea, of which we have shamelessly stolen for a couple of years now. I want to give them full credit. The Take Purge is where we allow ourselves, not quite 24 hours, but maybe a 30-minute period this morning where all the emergency services are down, JT. You are not going to be professionally or casually held liable for anything that you say. It cannot be held against you. Now, if you end up right about something, you can gloat about it. You get to kind of have your cake and eat it too during the Take Purge. But nothing you say can be held against you if you're wrong. So anything in the deepest corners of your heart, the reaches of your soul, that you're kind of thinking about the Titans this morning, or maybe the AFC South, that you've not quite put out there in the world because you're like, I can't say this. People will laugh at me. Here's your chance. Here's your chance to get it off your chest. And we did this a couple years ago, JT. We were talking about it this morning in the pre-show call. Do you remember any of yours? Because we didn't do it last year because we were split up. I was with A to Z. You were still with the Hot Read. The year prior, do you remember any of your Take Purges from that year to maybe give the folks an example before we sound the horn here in a minute and we purge our souls for 2025?
Yes, there are many that I
some
feel
more
like,
savory than others, perhaps.
Some more savory than I have to go back 2 years. I feel like for my all-timer Take Purge, in which I said a certain Titans cornerback at the time would end up leading the league in interceptions. Do you remember who that cornerback was?
Yeah, it was a cornerback that my Take Purge that year was basically the polar opposite. But does that cornerback now play for the Kansas City Chiefs?
I believe he does. So
yeah.
How
did that end up going for you?
It did not. It's not Caleb Farley. It's Mr. What was his injury? His legs.
It's just Mr. Soft Tissue.
Mr. Soft Tissue injury. I basically.
We're not going to mention who it was. It might have been said in the comments. It might not have. It might have been Christian Fulton. It might not have.
It might have been. I might have said that Christian Fulton was going to be a Pro Bowler and lead the league in interceptions that year because.
But it was in the Take Purge, so we can't laugh. We normally could laugh at you for that take, but since it was a Purge take, you're off the hook.
Yeah. So good deal.
Yeah. As Stoney in the comments says, a tissue made of marshmallow is roughly and of course now that he's with the Chiefs this year, he'll be an All-Pro or something. That's the kind of thing, and that's just one example. You can say anything about the type, but the point is, it needs to be a take that you would be genuinely reticent, genuinely worried about saying out loud in the wrong company. Like, this could get me laughed at because this could be a little bit crazy. That's the whole point. Now, we're not just making stuff up, right? It needs to be something that there's a part of you really do believe this. It's just not the majority of what you believe. There's a famous Louis C.K. sketch who is a comedian with a murky background at this point, but very funny nonetheless. The jokes are still funny. And one of his jokes that I have always loved, the concept is, of course, but maybe. And the whole thing is about things that are, of course, the way that they are. One example, and this is it. Don't get mad. Don't cancel me. But the joke is like, of course, nut allergies in kids are terrible. We should protect the children. We should segregate food so as to not accidentally give somebody who has nut allergy nuts. Of course, we have to be careful about it. But maybe if we all did this for like a year, nut allergies would go away forever. Right? That's the bit. That's the bit. Now, that's rude, first of all, and crazy, but it's a funny joke. That's the idea for the take purge. I hope we have explained it enough now that we've kind of beat the dead horse for 10 minutes on what it is. I hope that we've given you guys, by vamping long enough, to come up with some take purges this morning, because here in about 60 seconds, we're going to sound the horn and we are going to share our take purges. JT, I have one big one. I know that you have at least one, maybe two big purges to cleanse your soul of. Yes. And we want to go through all of yours in the chat. So get your typing fingers ready. Jump in the chat on YouTube and on Facebook. We want to hear about those. JT, let's go ahead and send the official question in the chat so that folks can, that can be our metaphorical horn this morning. The question is, Titans take purge. What is your craziest Titans take for the 2025 season? We're going to send that in the chat, and we're going to go through your answers here in just a second. Hopefully you guys come with some heat for us this morning. While you are typing those, let me tell you all about our friends at Window Nation. Window Nation is where's the fun one? Here's the fun one. I want to do the fun one this morning. Window Nation is our new sponsor here on the morning show. Save big this month by buying 2 windows, and they will give you 2 windows for free. Yes, a buy 2, get 2 over at Window Nation. Make no payments for 2 years. As Austin put it yesterday, no payments until the Titans' new stadium is open. You won't have to deal with monthly payments, a down payment, or interest until 2027. Hurry, because the sale ends September 30th. So you have less than a month now. Don't miss out. This is Window Nation's most popular offer. So schedule a fast, free estimate now with the pros at Window Nation. I love the estimate part, because with things in life where you're like, that could be expensive. I don't know. We need it, but do I really want to get down the road with somebody and then be on the hook for a big bill? At Window Nation, they will just tell you what they're going to charge you. And if you want to walk away, you can walk away. They're happy to give you an estimate so that you have no pressure, no worries with getting your windows replaced. Call them at 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. Yeah.
Talk about more good deals. Have to shout out our presenting sponsor, BTA Sports, as well. Talk about a good deal as well. You can use code A2Z when you download the BTA Sports app in our description, whether you're on Facebook, it's right there underneath the title or underneath the show. If you're watching on YouTube, use code ATOZ when you download the BTA Sports app to get a full season pass for $99 plus a 14-day free trial, only available through September. So listen, you use the link, you download it, you use these analytics, because once again, they're not with a sports book. They are with us. They are for us. They are using these analytics to help us gain the upper edge and make smarter bets. You use the 14-day free trial, and guess what? Because they have such sharp analytics, you probably make your money back in that 14 days. And so there you go. It's great. You get that for the season, and you're off ahead running. Smart bets, no guesswork. BTA, better for bettors.
All right, the take purge horn has officially sounded. JT, how about this? How about we go through the purges in the chat, and if we stumble upon something close to what our take purges are, then we can dive right into those. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Well, Anthony starts us off that's saying we're not off the hook, because he says we never know what we're talking about, and we just don't want to admit it. So that's
well,
good.
If Anthony wants, so Anthony's saying that for us, the take purge is 365 days a year.
Correct. Apparently.
All right. So that sounds like I'm not professionally liable for anything I say all year long. Thank you, Anthony, for allowing me that leeway.
Yeah.
Can you go through some of these in the comments, and we can maybe grade how take purgy they are?
Yeah. Let's start with this one. I'm seeing this one quite a lot, so we can start this one off. Randy says, "I'm afraid the fixed special teams will be like the fixed, in quotations, O-line last year. Don't assume it will be better."
I love this, Randy.
Because Jonathan also follows it up and says the special teams could be worse than last season.
Yeah. So. Let's I want to break down all of these. Throw a star in that so we can circle back, because I don't want to get the chat too far in advance. That's a great one. I have some thoughts on that. Let's come back. Let's continue down. What are some other take purges we've got?
Jamar says that his take he needs to get off his chest is that he thinks the Titans have a chance to win the division.
Sure. Start that one.
That's a good one. Coach Wills says Titans defense finishes in the top 5 in all major categories. Not just a couple, all. They are a bona fide top 5 defense this year.
Wait, so by all, does he mean like sack rate, pressure rate, those ones?
Yes. All major categories.
That's an astonishing development, Coach Wills.
So,
yeah, sure.
Ocho says Femi will have the most sacks by a rookie in a season.
Not just this season.
Not
any
just this
season. I'm going to look up what the rookie sack record is because it's way more than Femi's going to get.
The guy that has only played 13 games at edge will have the most sacks by a rookie in a season.
How astonishing would that be?
It would be very, very crazy.
Hey, you know who holds it? Shame on us for not knowing this. Does that give it away?
No, I not really thinking about who holds the rookie sack record.
Well, if I tell you that it's somebody close to home, does it give you an idea? I know you've not been a Titans fan for very long, but he's somebody. People in the chat are all over it. Jacob gets it. Javon Curse, the freak, holds the record. 14 and a half sacks. So good luck with that.
And he is going to get 15 sacks this year, apparently. So
15. I mean, listen, God bless. Hey, if he does that, then I believe the previous one about the Titans being top 5 in all the categories on the back of Femi's 15 sacks.
Yeah. Ocho follows it up and says Cam Ward, rookie of the year. What?
Daniel's calling us out for having thrown the wrong graphic back up there. There we go.
No,
Thank you. Appreciate that, Daniel. Sorry, back to the Purge.
Yes. Coach Will says Chake has a 710 touchdown year. Starring that one. We're coming back to that for sure. Let's see. Jason Dyson says Cam Ward will be the first rookie Super Bowl MVP.
All right, you're getting crazy, Jason. You're getting crazy. You don't actually believe this. First of all, he'd be the first rookie to lead his team to a Super Bowl, period. Flat out. Then he'd be the first to win it. Then he'd be the first to win the MVP in it. So what a historic season that would be.
Yeah.
Folks are giving us a hard time. Wrong graphic is up, third stringers. That's calling us third stringers is basically a slur. You can't do that. That's rude. So
Eric Castillo says Cam Ward is top 3 in passing yards. So a lot of hype for Cam Ward this morning. Darren says the defense isn't going to be as good as everyone claims. Ashley says the edge situation won't be as bad as we think. So dueling different takes about the defense this morning there. Dope says Femi so far looks like a bust. Sure, that I don't know if that one's too hot.
We've played 0 football games, so
yes.
You know.
Jeff says the Titans will draft top 5 again and still won't take a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. It's an interesting take. Let's see. Dan Moore has a better year than J.C. Latham. Interesting.
I wonder if is that a Dan Moore is good take or a J.C. Latham is bad take?
That could be looked at both ways, I think. Mm-hmm. Drew just flat out says Super Bowl champs. So do we want to get into?
Is that our friend Drew or is that another Drew?
I think it's just random Drew.
Okay, Drew. Sorry, Drew. Not to call you random Drew, but we have a friend Drew that's sometimes in here. Sure. Okay. I'm seeing some more down here further down the list.
Corey, I was trying to get to everybody. Corey Fessler says Io Manor 1,000-yard season there.
Okay, pin that one too. I want to with some of these that are like historically based. I want to explore what the actual bar to clear is.
Tall Texan says Ridley 15 touchdowns purely based on the other wide receivers trash status. He says,
is that one even purgy? Like, is that? I mean, 15 touchdowns is a lot of touchdowns. Don't get me wrong. But
I think Terry McLaurin set like the franchise record for them last year with like 13. So 15 would be a lot.
Let's start with that one and see what the Titans franchise record is. That's a good one to look up.
All right. And then Jeff Rubles says Purge take Jeffrey Simmons is traded by the trade deadline for picks. So Jeff saying that they will be a bottom 5 team once again this season. Trade Jeffrey Simmons at the trade deadline for picks that they could potentially get next year and still won't get a wide receiver in the first and second round. Glad we're starting off on a positive note for the season, Jeff, there.
You trade away one A.J. Brown and then you're convinced you're doomed to wide receiver purgatory forever. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, I guess so. Chris says Titans will have 2 1,000-yard receivers, but no running back will rush for 1,000 yards. Flipping the script on that one. Coach Will says J.C. Latham wins the Offensive Lineman Award. I forget which one that's called, but I guess
it's the It's like the protector award. It's something protector.
Yes.
But yeah, that's dope. I forgot that's a thing.
Ocho follows it up and says Chimere Dike will have multiple touchdowns via punt/kick returns.
Wow.
That's a bold one there for sure.
We're all sitting here worried about if he can do it, and our friend here in the chat's saying not only can he do it, he's going to be the best. He's going to be the best.
And like I said, says Pollard runs for 1,400 yards here this season.
That'd be a lot. That'd be a lot. That would be a dramatically improved Titans run game. No doubt about that.
Stoney has a pretty wild one. He says, crazy take, Cedric Gray leads the Titans in sacks this season.
It's
a good
great
one.
Take.
That's a very good one. That's in line with what the take purge is supposed to be. Daniel follows it up with this sack conversation and says, Draymond Jones will have double-digit sacks this season.
Every edge take purge that we've read so far is just straight fan fiction. I mean, it is. We all understand.
Femi is breaking 10 sacks. This double-digit sacks there for him. Another one. Trail says Alec plus 750 yards and 6 touchdowns this season. Titans
go back to the edge thing. I have a question for you.
The Femi one?
Just in general, about whether it's Femi getting 10 sacks or Draymond Jones getting 10 sacks, what's more likely? One defensive player, any position, getting 8 or more sacks this year, or none getting more than 6?
That's a great question. Probably more like none, I think.
More likely that none get more than 6 sacks this year? Yeah, I mean, like, I probably set my own bar too low, because even the corpse of Harold Landry last year got, what did he get, 9 sacks, 10 sacks? He got more than 8. So, I think some guys might fall into 8 or 9 sacks. I do also think that the sacks will be, they'll probably sack the quarterback slightly more than they did last year, but even then, it'll probably be more split up. Like, it won't be one guy heavy. I think it'll be like, 4 for Jeff, 2 for Sweat, 2 for Gray, 6 for Jones, 2.5 for Femi. Like, you know what I mean? Arden Key 5, and then it all adds up to a sad, whatever number, 33 sacks on the year, and it's womp womp. So, but yeah, I'm not sure that any of these edge ones have a chance to come true. But that's the point of the take purge, right? Any more?
There are plenty more.
Okay, let's keep going. I want to try to get to every. Today is a all-inclusive chat day.
Tighten Up Ohio says Sweat will have more sacks than Simmons.
Wow.
So
again, with these comparison ones, I want clarification. Is that because you think Sweat is going to be awesome, or is it because you think Simmons is going to stink?
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. Daniel Cribbin said Draymond has 40 plus pressures a year the last 4 years. So
this is true.
Hey, maybe some of those will come true.
You got to pay them off.
Let's see. Going through the chat, Jeffrey says Pollard 10 plus touchdowns. Very interesting one there.
Aggressive. Let me look up Pollard's. Let me find out the most touchdowns he scored in a year. You want to guess?
That would be good. Jeffrey says,
Marcus I was asking you.
Oh, sorry.
Doofus. What do you want to guess?
I thought you were asking just the chat in general.
No. What do you think the most touchdowns in a year Tony Pollard has to his name?
Rushing specific, I'm going to go 9. I think that's...
You nailed it. 9 in 2022. And he had 3 receiving that year. So it's doable. It is. He has crossed the 10 total touchdowns from scrimmage mark once in his career. He's actually not even come close any other year. The next closest was 6 touchdowns. And last year with the Titans, he had 5. So we'll see.
Drew Given said, LOL, thanks, guys. You're welcome, Random Drew. That's your new nickname.
New nickname, Random Drew.
Ronnie, continuing yesterday's conversation with a wild prediction, saying Cam Ward throws for 29 touchdowns and only 9 interceptions.
What a year that would be, man.
That would be quite the year here as well. Let's see what else we have. I think that's basically it. That's all the ones I've seen so far, going back up to where we were. So
I saw one.
Dylan also said Brownlee becomes unquestioned cornerback 1 by the end of the year. And I saw earlier, the one I was about to put on there before we were having the Tony Pollard discussion, someone said, as I looked to try to find it, that Marcus Harris basically usurps Jarvis Brownlee Jr. as a starting cornerback for the Titans this season.
That would be something, wouldn't it? That would be something. I also saw some Callahan ones in there, which aren't even that. Like, I saw one person say Brian Callahan gets fired, which couldn't be less of a Purge take. I also saw somebody say Callahan gets an extension. Now, there's you. Not only is it a good year, but he gets extended off of this year. That would be.
Yeah, I saw one as well that we're saying Callahan was coach of the year, wins the coach of the year award. Could be very. That's in there. I think Callahan as coach of the year is worthy of take Purge, as Jeffrey says. That was him. So
yeah, I mean, there's a fine line between take Purge worthy and straight fan fiction, and that certainly toes it. JT and I we're gonna go through our take Purges. Mine sort of got touched on in here, but not really. JT, did we already talk about yours a little bit?
We did, just a bit. And I guess I can start mine then.
Well, hang on. Let's get to a read real quick so that we stay on schedule this morning, and we'll tease those because mine has to do with the defensive side of the ball.
Mine has to do with the offensive.
So okay, well, look at that. We don't even know what our purges are, but they're lined up perfectly. And then I want to go back through some of these ones we've starred because I find them interesting. But first, got to tell you about our friends over at. I've not learned which ones of these are which. It's this one, right? Botero Carts. Life is short. Buy a golf cart. That's the one I'm looking for. We love our friends over at Botero Carts, another new sponsor here on the show this year. And they're 0% financing for 36 months. Wanted to get the finances right here. Another company with us that is going to offer you multiple years worth of 0% financing. So they're not going to nickel and dime you, just like Window Nation's not going to nickel and dime you. Their carts start at $67.95. So they are affordable and they are open 7 days a week with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and in Gallatin. Full service sales and rental dealer. It's a one-stop shop, locally owned and operated, and they have no dealer fee, no credit card fees. So they are going to charge you what is on the sticker, and that's it. They're not going to be service fees. There's not going to be big financing fees, no dealer fees, no credit card fees. We know a lot of these places will, advertise a $6,000 golf cart, and then you leave and you count it all up, and you're like, I spent $13,000 today. Not at Botero Carts. Their carts are stored indoors, so they are kept in pristine condition, and you don't even have to have a credit score on your contract. That there's an option for no credit needed if that is something that is concerning you as well, because life is short and you need to buy a golf cart. Do it with our friends at Botero Carts. Yeah,
also powered by BTA Sports, better for bettors. BTA Sports delivers data-driven NFL picks, tools, and projections built for serious fans and smart bettors. Another good deal this September. Use code ATOZ when you download the BTA Sports app to get a full season pass for $99 plus a 14-day free trial, only available through September. So starting off the year strong. We know that the week one is always a liar with betting, and things are very, very tricky when it comes
hardest week of the year to bet.
Week one of the NFL season, but not if you have BTA Sports. They offer lines and data-driven decisions for you to get the edge on the books. You can use the link in the show description where insights meet instincts. BTA Sports.
All right, JT, I'll have you go first. What is your offensive take, Purge? Please, the floor is yours. Purge your soul of whatever take you need to get out there this morning.
Yes, and I want to start this off by saying I do think still, I don't think it's crazy that this offense, at least through the passing, will run through Calvin Ridley. I think that's not crazy to say. I think that's very realistic.
Sure.
I think it's what's going to happen if Cam Ward is going to find success this year. However, there's been a lot of talk about who will be that number 2 behind him. And I think that there has been a lot of conversations about some of these rookies, but I think we're forgetting somebody who has all the pieces finally in place for them to break out, specifically this year, because it's a very motivated year for them. And I think that we could be looking at the year that we go back at the end of the year. And yes, it's another year where Chigakonkwo is the second leading pass catcher in this offense. but it's not because he has 400 yards and 2 touchdowns or something like that.
Right.
I think that there is a path to success for Chigakonkwo this year, specifically in this Brian Callahan and Cam Ward offense. You talk a lot about, first of all, being a contract year for him. It's time to put up or shut up for him. And I know we have continued to talk about Chigakonkwo going all the way back to our old podcast, The Prince Who Was Promised. This was the guy that we have always kind of hooked our trailer.
We were a Chigakonkwo show. We
are, I think, still a Chigakonkwo show. I'm bringing that with us. Okay. But I think when you look at what the Titans are doing this year, the amount of talk about how Brian Callahan wants to make this offense as close to what Cam's comfortable with and using elements of what Cam has used in his Miami offense last year, the things that make him, that come easy to him to find success. And what was a lot of that through? Of course, you had the outside receivers, and a lot of that worked for him. But the biggest thing that I think really worked for Cam at Miami was the tight ends. Elijah Arroyo. It was arguably his favorite target and the target that brought him the biggest yards after the catch and the biggest big play ability. You go back and you look at a lot of those impressive throws that Cam Ward was making up the seam to Elijah Arroyo, just anticipating those and delivering on those, creating big plays for this team. I think that's, I don't think Chigakonkwo here has ever had a quarterback who is able to anticipate like that, is able to connect on seams like that. And I think that he's never been able to do what he does best, which is catch the ball and then make the play after the catch. We saw it very sparsely last year. You go back in that Texans game where he had the 70-yard touchdown and things like that. But with Cam this year, I think this is finally the year where we see Chigakonkwo break out. And by breakout, I'm with who was that in the chat there?
It's gone forever now. I took it off. But
I think it was Coach Wills. I think it was Coach Wills.
I think you're right.
Said 700 yards, and I think it was around
10 touchdowns. Is what he
touchdowns. Said. Sure, I'm not. I don't know about the 10 touchdowns, but I'll go 800 yards for Chigakonkwo and 6 touchdowns.
Wow,
career year.
So I remember back in the spring when we were not officially sure that Cam Ward would be the Titans pick, but we were, at least my reporting indicated that he would be, and we were all basically in a waiting pattern for a month before the draft actually got there. And I was watching Cam under the impression of, okay, this is the guy that, let's go ahead and get a head start on the Titans quarterback this year. And watching his college tape, he just, it flashes in every game how much he loves to throw the seam ball, loves to push the ball up the middle of the field, and how well he does it, how the combination of how fearless he is and how effective he is in that area. And I texted somebody in the Titans coaching staff and was like, hey, who runs who's the best receiver on this team in terms of running the seam route? And they said, Chigakonkwo is. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's a Chig year, and it's a contract year, as you pointed out. I do think that Chig is going to be very effective this year. My question to you is that, because we talked about this in a show during the summer, we go back to the Jonnu Smith career in Tennessee and the way that he finished in his final season before needing a new contract and ultimately being signed for a bunch of money in free agency in New England. That offseason, a lot of folks went into it being like, well, yeah, you got to bring Jonnu Smith back. And then he's not brought back. And everybody's like, wow, that was kind of an on the fence decision. And folks weren't exactly crazy about the Titans deciding to move on from him. Do you think this Chigakonkwo season is going to be one where we finish the season and folks are like, wow, forget the first 3 years of Chigakonkwo, man. Now that he has a quarterback, now that he's developed and come into his own as a veteran, his production speaks for itself, and we've got to keep him around. Or are we going to be debating? Are we going to be doing debate shows throughout January and February about whether or not the Titans should bring back Chig? How undeniable a performance will he put up this year?
To go along with the take purge, I think
it's still a take purge.
It is, because there were a couple people in the chat here. Like, once again, I don't believe this. I don't think Chigakonkwo is actually going to have this, but I'm thinking about thinking.
You don't believe it, but
I don't believe this. Once again, it's an important distinction to have, that just like you guys in the chat who are throwing your craziest takes out here,
right? You don't believe it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Garrett says, well, we will know if JT's take is legit or not by the end of September. I'm thinking that this take is going to be legit or not going to be legit after 5 minutes from now. So
okay.
we won't be thinking about it anymore. But, and I do think this one is also funny. Vol says it's Chig's year, starting to sound like ATL fans saying it's Pitt's year. But to go along with the take, I do think that if he has the kind of year that I think if all the stars align and he does, find his role finally in this offense in what they want to run with using their tight ends, I do think that we end up bookmarking it in late January. Or early February. We're having a discussion of do you bring back Chig or just roll with Gunnar Helm? Like that will be a debate show at the end of January because of the discussion of having to re-sign him.
I like it. My take, Purge, that I came into today wanting to talk about was on the defensive side of the ball. And we sort of touched on it when we went through all the folks in the comments. Some of those comments we started, by the way, we'll get back to here in just a second. We have spent so much time and energy in the past 6 weeks talking about the defense as a whole, the razor thin margins they're going to be operating with in terms of talent and how these starters, they've just got to stay healthy, man. And even then, are the deficiencies at edge, potential deficiencies at cornerback if guys don't play well, are those, even with the starters in there, capable of sinking this unit? Well, what exactly is this going to be a group that are the Titans going to have to be like the 2024 Bengals and score 35 points a game to even stand a chance because of the defense? My take for the Purge is that Denard Wilson is just going to do what he did last year, and it's going to be like they're going to be good. And it's not going to be, we're not going to really understand it. It's not going to be super explainable. But he drew blood from a stone last year when we went into the season talking about how the defense, the spine of this defense, the safeties and the linebackers, how's this going to work? And we weren't exactly stoked about the edges last year either. And for the first half plus of the season before they traded away key assets, it was a good defense, despite the special teams putting them consistently, and the offense for that matter, but especially the special teams, consistently putting them with their backs up against the wall in bad positions. And they did a lot of bailing the Titans out in the first 3 quarters before the dam finally broke because the defense had been on the field for 57 minutes in the fourth quarter. I think that this year, it's just going to be that again, because I think Denard Wilson's a very good defensive coordinator that is good at getting more with less. And I think that some of those key positions that in hindsight last year, we were like, well, it was the safety group had a piece and the linebacker group had a piece that kind of held it all together. Why can't Cody Barton be that guy? Why can't, the guy that we were talking about last year, Quandre Diggs, is in that room and he's now, the third or the fourth guy. And he's going to you'll see him on the field in Denver. He's going to play. Why, we're not worried about the safety group. Why can't the cornerback group step up to the plate? The edge group, it's, I'm not going to, again, that's the fan fiction part of the Take Purge today. I'm not going to go as far as to say, why can't the edge group have, 30 sacks between the three of them this year? But I just think that Denard is a good enough defensive coordinator to make it work. And we're not going to really understand it when it happens. We're going to be surprised by how good the defense is, at least for the first half of the year. And we're going to do the same thing we did last year, scratching our heads and in hindsight have to dissect how it went right when we expected in August for it all to go wrong.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair because you said it once again. Denard Wilson, I think the concept of what he wants to do with the defense has always been good, no matter what the outcome is, right? Like I think that's very evident. And I think that you're right. He is a very good defensive coordinator and he will continue to be a good defensive coordinator for this team. And I really like what he is conceptually putting out there. I do think on the opposite side, there is a question that is this team still do they have the pieces to finally kind of execute that to perfection? I don't know. So I think that's going to be very, very interesting going into this season because Darren says he's on the opposite side of this take. Malachi says, if the special teams doesn't screw the defense this year, they could be good. It's hard on a defense when they're starting on the wrong side of the field. Absolutely. But I think, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if guys like Cody Barton and a second-year Cedric Gray and James Williams can kind of do what the linebacker group couldn't last year. And I think we talk about how the linebacker group is sometimes kind of, it's a throwaway. It's, you don't need to be super sound there. But I think in Denard's defense, you absolutely need to have sound linebacker play. And maybe this is the year they figure it out.
So those are our take purges. Let's quickly go back through some of the purges in the comments, and then we'll end the purge section of today's show and get to some dead serious, sober predictions. We'll go through some rapid fire predictions and then get to some sports trivia and call it a day. But some of these are pretty interesting. Let's start with Corey Fessler. I am in our 1,000-yard season. I was, as you were talking just then, looking to find the last rookie receiver to go for 1,000 or more yards. And I wanted to see maybe who the most recent day 3 rookie receiver to go for more than 1,000 yards. JT, I did not have very far.
Has there been, I was going to say, I feel like there's maybe like 1 or 2 day 3 receivers that have.
Well, there's the all-time record for receiving yards in a single season by a rookie was set by a 5th round pick 2-3 seasons ago.
Who's that?
He plays for the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, Puka.
Yeah, Puka.
Sorry.
Puka had almost 1,500 yards he was a 5th rounder, right? Or a 6th rounder? I think he was a 5th rounder.
Yeah, I think he's 5th or 6th.
So it has happened. Is Puka the exception? He's the end all exceptions. The other guys at the top of that list are like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Anquan Bolden. Ever heard of Randy Moss, OBJ? Brian Thomas Jr. as a 1st rounder did it last year, as did Malik Neighbors. Brock Bowers on this list is like a polar bear in San Antonio. So yeah, AJ Brown on the list, by the way. The last Titans rookie to go for 1,000 was AJ Brown. Got just over that line. There have been less than 30 rookie receivers to go for 1,000 yards. And I don't have time to go through how many of these are day 3 picks, but just eyeballing it. It's Puka and like maybe 2 other guys. I'd have to double check, but not many for obvious reasons. So what a outcome that would be. Let's go to, I like this one a lot. This first one we read from Randy. He said, I'm afraid the fixed special teams will be fixed like the offensive line last year. Don't assume it will be better. This is something that I have thought about pretty much all preseason because I totally remember this time last year how we felt about Bill Callahan, who I was made fun of relentlessly last year, by the way, for saying there's a lot of pressure on Bill Callahan, which I think there was, and it didn't work. It did not work. And this year, there's also a lot of pressure on Bill Callahan because he's got the pieces at his disposal. But that was an example of a guy who was a league-wide known guru brought in. The Titans this is the guy that's going to fix the unit. And we all kind of assumed that it would just be fixed overnight and that Rome could be built in a day. And it obviously was not. Now, was it a disaster area on the offensive line? I wouldn't call it a full-blown disaster. I'd say the right tackle position was obviously a disaster, but was it the worst season for the Titans offensive line of the past 3 years? No. Low bar, but no. The Titans special teams is in a very similar position, right? Brought in a guru, known league-wide, supposed to be a big coaching upgrade, and Bones Fossil is somebody that it's not that I don't have faith in him to do it, but I think we might all be jumping the shark just a little bit on assuming that he can do it overnight. Now, we'll see here in a couple days because the ghost was given up by the offensive line and the special teams last year pretty early on. It was like, well, all right, it did not take many weeks for us to realize this is going to be a problem. So we'll see, I think, if the special teams is going to be a problem. And we may even find out this week with the returner situation. But I do find that interesting, and I think that's pretty sharp from Randy, JT.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's going to be a big test. Consider like if the Broncos go with how they are set up currently, right? With their punt returning, like if it is Marvin Mims, like that is a speedy, shifty receiver that is back there that is going to be catching punts and returning kicks and doing all those things. So it'll be very, very interesting.
Heat check. How many special teams touchdowns do the Titans allow this year? Over, under 1.5.
How many did they give up last year?
At least 2, right? I mean,
well, that's the thing. Like, I guess, yeah, there were a couple. Like,
let me reframe it, because this is more subjective, but I think we all understand what it means. How many special teams disaster moments this year? Whether so maybe it's a 60-yard return, like where it's becoming the talking point of the week. Can you believe they allowed a blocked punt? Can you believe they allowed that 80-yard return? How many disaster moments? Last year, there had to have been a dozen, right? Is that fair?
Yeah,
I think
that's fair.
This year, I'll put the over-under at 4.5 disaster moments.
I think there's 4.
So just under.
I'll go just under.
And that's a successful year, right?
I feel like, yes.
1 disaster a month, basically. Okay, that's the allowance for the Titans. Is 1 disastrous special teams moment a
month. For your initial question, the over under of 1.5 was it 1.5 or 2.5 for the touchdowns?
1.5 for touchdowns allowed.
Everybody in the chat, like, let's see. Darren says 2. Hayden said over. Let's see. Vol says way over. He would have taken the over if you said 10.
Vols X8 has no faith in the special teams being fixed.
MB says over, but only give up 2. Ashley said over 2. So,
okay.
A lot of people think that the Titans are still going to give up 2 or more.
Gosh, I am morbidly curious to see how special teams looks in Denver.
Yes.
Let's see. Here's an interesting one from Eric, and I promise we'll get to the rest of the show. We will not go an hour and a half today, but Eric says Cam Ward is top 3 in passing yards. I just wanted to point out, because I pulled up what last year's, I thought I did. Where did it? Here we go. Last year's passing yard leaders, because he didn't say top 3 rookie or top 3 in the NFL of all the quarterbacks, which means based on last year, he's going to have to throw for north of 4,500 yards, which I don't know what the rookie, let me look up the rookie quarterback passing yards record. You want to guess?
It would be a lot.
Guess on what it is? Anybody? Bueller?
I'm gonna go 3,800.
It is 2012. You want to guess which quarterback that was?
2012.
AFC South quarterback.
AFC South. Luck?
Yep, Andrew Luck. And he had almost 4,400 yards, so 43 and change.
Oh, okay.
So even the record would be not top 3 last year. So he'd have to break the record and be top 3. So, good luck with that. Any others that we need to get to? No, I think we're good. I think we can move on here. We do have a super chat, by the way, from King VC, which we've neglected very rudely. Sorry, King VC. Lock in, like the show. Good morning. Thank you, King VC. And he's right. Like the show. This is a great moment for us to take a moment to hit that like button on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you guys for doing that. JT, are we good with the Purge? Are we ready to end the Purge?
So.
All right, that's it. The Purge is over. You can hear it in the distance. The horn is blaring. We appreciate everybody joining to Purge.
I feel like I just blanked. I like Severance. I came back online.
Yeah, all I know is I think the Titans defense is going to stink this year. And Chigakonkwo is going to, it's going to be a whimper for him this season before he's no longer with the Titans. So looking forward to watching that this year. We do want to end the show today with some rapid fire Titans predictions. So we'll start those off with a Titans record prediction, the all famous, the all necessary, the all annoying to me record prediction at the beginning of the year. JT and I will share how many games we think the Titans will win in just a moment. But first, JT, tell the fine folks about our friends at the Bone and Joint Institute.
Oh, there it is. All right. Yeah, the Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine, boneandjointtn.org. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust. The Bone and Joint Institute is located in Franklin with over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help your recovery. Bone and Joint can do everything under one roof for your convenience on that campus. That includes clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab. Schedule an appointment. Go to boneandjointtn.org.
We're also brought to you by our friends at BTA Sports, Better for Betters. We're going to use BTA Sports all year long to make some money for us, hopefully make some money for you guys. Download the app today. Use code ATOZ Sports. Just $99 for your first year. Going to more than pay for itself if you're using the intel from our friends over there at BTA Sports. All right, JT, let's take a look at the Titans season graphic. Where is it? Here we go. This is the schedule for this year. So before you and I share what we think the Titans win-loss prediction or record will be, and we'll go ahead and send in the chat the question so that I'll send that right now so that the folks can tune in can chime in rather with their record predictions. What do you think the win-loss record for the Titans will be this year? JT, how many of these games do we think are actually winnable? Let's start there and work our way backwards to how many of the winnable games they then win. So maybe we go week by week here. In this first month, these first 4 games at Denver, home against the Rams and the Colts, at the Texans. How many of these are really winnable games to you?
So I think 2, and this is going to be a theme throughout the entire season in terms of what I think is a winnable game. I'm of the opinion that you can win every division game. Your division opponent, no matter what. We saw it last year, right?
Sure.
The Titans were terrible down the stretch and still ended up with a shocking win over the Texans. I consider every division game, whether it be home or away, a winnable game. So by that criteria, I'm going to go.
It's so funny, by the way, that the Titans beat only one divisional opponent last year, and it was the Texans.
The Texans, yes.
Swept by the mighty 2024 Colts and Jaguars.
Yes. So I think, I'm going to go with 2 because I do think that.
And it's the 2 division games?
Yeah. I think it's very tough to begin the season.
I'm going to say 2 games. And this is the way my brain works, so I'm sorry if this is convoluted. But like in the first 2 games, I see the potential for half a win. Basically, like you might luck your way into winning one of those games. And then I see 1.5 wins in the next 2 games because I think that there's a chance you win both, but I think you win at least 1. So I see 1 or 2 wins in the first 2. We'll be generous because people are like, well, why go in on the Titans winning more games to begin the year when, it's just going to come crashing down and disappoint you. Well, if there's ever a time for optimism, it is right now, right before the season, and then we can worry about being disappointed later. So we'll say 2. What about the rest of these games before the bye? You've got at the Cardinals, at the Raiders, home against the Vrabel Patriots, at the Colts, and then home against the Chargers. What stands out to you as winnable here?
Am I crazy to say that there's 4 out of the 5 are winnable?
Wow. Let me see which one is not winnable. Is it the Patriots game? It's not winnable to you?
No.
The Chargers game is not winnable to you. Okay.
Because I think the Chargers are just going to be, that's a peek behind the corner and what I think around the NFL. I think the Chargers are going to be really, really good this year. So,
okay.
But like the Cardinals, yes, could they finally put it all together this year? Maybe, but I still don't have all the faith in the world against that defense. I think that's a very winnable game. I think the Raiders are going to be the Raiders, and that'll be, I think it's a winnable game outside of, Max Crosby. Their defense is still not that great. And there's talks just like nationally that the Raiders might have the worst defense in the league. So I think that's a winnable game. Patriots, I think at home, very winnable, almost has been called a must win for this team already before they set foot on a field. And then once again, another divisional game. So I'm going to go 4 out of 5.
I will agree with you that because again, we're not talking about how many they will win. I'm saying how many are winnable. I'll say 4 of those 5 are winnable. So we're up to 6 now, 6 winnable games in the Titans' first 9. We now move to the post-bye portion, and let's just take their home stand first. These 3 games at home in a row, they'll be, I think it's the month of November between the bye and these 3 home games. They will be home it's October. It's October. The entire month of October, they will be home. They play the Texans, the Seahawks, and the Jaguars at home in weeks 11, 12, and 13. Are these all winnable games, JT?
I was going to say, is that crazy? 2 divisional games and then a Seahawks team that we don't know what it's going to really look like considering Sam Darnold's there. Can he continue his upward trajectory? I could see all those, especially all being at home. I could see those all being winnable.
Okay, so we're up to 9. The final 5 games at the Browns, at the Niners, home against the Chiefs and the Saints, and then at the Jaguars. I wouldn't say all of these are winnable. So how many of them are winnable?
Let's go 3.
I'm going to say 3 as well.
Browns, Saints, and Jags.
Yep, and I hate being an absolutist. Do I think there's no chance they beat the Niners or the Chiefs? No, there's a chance anybody beats anybody on any given Sunday in the NFL. That's the beauty of the sport. But generally speaking, in that sample of 5 games, I think 3 of them are really winnable. So that's 12, maybe more than you expected. Yeah. We see 12 winnable games out of 17 for the Titans. So now it's time to put up or shut up, JT. Let's talk record prediction, and we'll have to scroll back up in the comments here. I'll send you to the comments. What are people saying? How many wins do they think the Titans will have this year? And we'll see who we agree with.
Yeah, Eric Costello with a very conservative 17-0 easily to start us off here.
That's a good start, Eric. I appreciate the thoughtfulness on that.
Yeah, Darren goes 5-12 easy. Kenneth says 7-10. 1 and Scott both say 7-10 as well. Vols says 5-12. That's him being nice. Titans Kyle says 6-11. Billy says 10-7. Bork says 0-17 ties.
Okay, sure.
So very good. Yeah.
So Bork and Eric should get together for a coffee and reconcile their differences.
Mike Peck says 10-7. Rooney says 10-7. Nick says 8-9. Darius goes 6-11 or 7-10. Mono, I think that's how you say that, says 9-7 and the wild card. Eric says 8-9. Andrew says they'll win 9 games. Dr. David Fan says 9-8. So we're hovering around that 9-8 to 6-11 kind of area, I feel like. Let's see. Bork says he gave an actual and he said 7-10.
There we go. I do love the age-old adage. I don't know if Kyle I'm forgetting his last name on Good Morning Football.
Brant.
Thank you, Brant. I had our colleague Kyle Crabb's name stuck in my head. Kyle Brant is the person that beats this drum the hardest every year. Every fan of every team tends to be able to convince themselves they can get to 10 wins. That's the magic number. Everybody loves something magic about being double digits. And that also seems to be the number to get into the playoffs, obviously. And we got some 10-7s, even though the Titans are the way that they are in our comments. I think, JT, that the Titans will win 5, 6, or 7 games this year. I think their over-under at most books is set at 5.5, maybe a juiced 5.5 to the over. And I think that's roughly correct. I'm not going to. It's kind of a stay away for me. I don't love really anybody's over-unders, to be honest. I'm not really a big season-long bettor in that way. But if you made me take a side, I'm certainly taking the over for the Titans at 5.5. And 5, 6, or 7, as I said a second ago, if there was ever a time for optimism, I believe it is now. So I'll say 7. Why not? 7-10, I think, is the uninspiring record the Titans will have. What say you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go, and I know this. People are in the comments saying you're just gonna say 7-10, 6-11, like every other media member, blah blah blah. But I'm gonna say 6-11, and I'm gonna be conservative on that front because once again, I'll take the over on the 5.5. Like if you gave me the over under, I'm taking the over for sure. But I'm gonna go 6 because not to mention last year my record prediction was like 9-8, and we saw how that went. So
or 9 wins.
That's tough. I'll go 9 because I do think that this team is improved.
I agree. I don't think they're going to win 9, but I think it's more likely
they win 9 than 3.
Than they win 3. All right, some rapid fire ones. Let's just fly through these, JT, and then we will we'll get to excuse me. We got one more read, and then we'll fly through the rapid fire. So tell our friends about Barton Drury Insurance Group real quick.
Yeah, excited to get to some rapid fire questions, but first, got to tell you about Barton Drury Insurance Group. They are a truly one-stop shop for both your personal and business insurance. Austin and Zach here at A to Z felt their buying experience from them was very positive because of all the different types of insurance they needed to get as a growing business. Number of different options and plans for the responsiveness, the experience with their service team, and feeling out the level of expertise over at Barton Drury. They felt like they were the best one to go with for A to Z Sports as a company because they sell employee benefits, 401k planning, life insurance, workers' comp, liability, auto, property, umbrella, and surety bonds, anything that you could need for your insurance needs. They are local and strive to provide excellent service, but also they want to take the time to make sure you understand their insurance policies, customized solutions for all your insurance needs, bartondrury.com.
Also brought to you by BTA Sports. We're powered by BTA Sports, better for bettors. Download the app today. Use code ATOZ Sports and sign up with only a $99 annual fee to get their fantastic analytics year-round to power your betting and make you some money. All right, JT, some rapid-fire questions to finish us out before we get to sports trivia. Number one on the docket, predicting Cam Ward's passing yards, touchdowns, and interceptions for his rookie season. I don't know about you. I have spent no time thinking about that until this moment. So my answer is going to be just off the dome. Have you put any thought into this? Do you have an answer?
Yeah, I have an answer.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm going 30 around. I'm not going to give like specific to a T numbers in terms of yards, but I'm going to go 3,300 to 3,400 yards. That's the yards. I think he throws 19 touchdowns, and you guys were crazy. I just have to point out yesterday on the show, thinking that more than 10 interceptions for Cam Ward is too many. You guys are insane in the chat. I'm going 14 interceptions.
All right, so you've got 30. Let's split the baby so we have an actual number. You have 3,350 yards.
Yes.
19 touchdowns. Would you say 14 interceptions?
Yeah.
I will say Cam Ward passes for. I'll be a little more optimistic than you. I'll say Cam Ward passes for 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Yep. 35, 22, 17.
And listen, Bork brings up, chat is going to cook so hard when Cam throws less than 12. I'll believe it when I see it.
Hey,
you guys are insane.
From Bork's mouth to God's ears. I'd love for that to be the case and us to be wrong. Be awesome. Yeah. Next question. Who's the second leading receiver after Calvin Ridley? Now, I don't know if, it's the Purge. We're severed from that moment, but is that going to bleed over a little bit here into your answer?
It's hard because
he's only been the leader 2 years in a row.
This is true, but I do think that they do have a lot more talent around them. I think the easy answer is Alec, and I want to go with that, but I do want to still put a little spice into it.
Okay.
And I think we count out some of these veterans a little bit too much because I do think that it's more likely that instead of it being like Calvin and then another guy and then a bunch, I do think it's like Calvin and then a decent sized chunk of people around like a 600 to 700 yard range, maybe even 800 yard range, and then a couple other ones. Like I think Alec is the easy answer, but I think we count out Tyler Lockett a little bit too much. Like I think even though like I get it, analytics, his age, he's on the decline, but his role in this offense, I could easily see him getting to 650, 700 yards in this offense. And that might be good enough to be the second leading pass catcher on this team. If we're saying around 3,500 yards and Calvin Ridley we're have not been shy about hyping him up to have maybe a career year. Like, I think it's not crazy to say like he has like 1,200 yards. So then you throw in the next best receivers around 700-800 there. Like, I think I'm going to go Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, and you're not crazy. I don't think you're alone in that. Eric in the comments thinks Lockett. Thinks Lockett could be close. I'm seeing a handful. Bearded Kunu thinks that Lockett could be up there. Nick says Lockett's going to surprise a lot of people with 850 yards on the season. I don't think that's crazy, but who would I be? How could I live with myself? How could I sleep at night if at the buzzer of a really year-long campaign from your boy on the Alec Iamaner train, since I watched him for the first time a month and a half before he became a Titan, if I did not say Alec Iamaner, the day 3 rookie of the year in terms of skill players. I think that he's going to take the mantle of the starting role that he's been given already on paper. And I think that he's going to have a really, really promising rookie year, cementing himself as a good Titans receiver for the foreseeable future. And I think his rookie contract, he'll be the, third or second receiver on this team throughout. So I'll even, I'll say Alec has 729 yards this season.
And that's the second leading receiver on this team.
Yeah, I because I am with you in, I think Calvin could have like 1,300 yards, and then the other, 2,000-ish yards are split up relatively evenly between like 6 guys.
Yeah.
So there's that. Next question, only 2 more. We're on the defensive side of the ball now. Who leads the Titans in sacks this year? We already heard during the Take Purge that Femi's going to have 10 and Draymond Jones is going to have 10. So which one of them has more than 10, I suppose, is the right question.
Listen, I don't know, honestly. Like, this is a shot in the dark. But you know what? I'll go with our boy Daniel Caribbean in the chat, who has been just spewing Draymond Jones propaganda. This is entire, like, he is so high on Draymond Jones this season. It sounded like from the chat. I think in this system, you know, you talk about his ability to get pressure, if those can lead to some sacks. Like, I think you could see a world where Draymond Jones has 7-8 sacks. I think also there's a question like, is this a Jeffrey Simmons rebound year? Like, I think he could also be in the conversation. Although I just, once again, like, I need to see it before I will ever even think about believing that Jeff or Sweat could lead this team in sacks because of how much attention is going to be on them. So I'll go with an outside. Draymond Jones leads the team with 8 or 9 sacks.
All right. I was tempted to go Jeff Simmons because I do think there's a chance he's the team's best pass rusher this year, but he is at a disadvantage being on the inside. And I always talk this time of year about how excited I am once the 53-man roster cutdowns happen to rediscover some actually good, players that are going to play on the football field on Sunday. Now that we are, moving on to the actual games. And so it's like, oh, hello, Roger McCreary, a guy we largely ignored.
Amani Hooker.
Hello, Amani Hooker. Right. Hello, Sebastian Joseph Day. I would throw Arden Key a little bit into that category. I'll say Arden Key because, listen, Arden Key was the best pass rusher on this team last year. Again, low bar, but he was the best. And I think that he's, I've always talked about how Arden is at his best when he's able to be a rotational third in a designated pass rush role and not have to be an every down guy, because he's just not, he's not built that way as a pass rusher. He is a really, really unique player in the sense that he's built more like a speed outside guy, but he's sometimes at his best when he's allowed to be let loose on the inside. But you want him on second and third down, obvious pass down situations. You don't want him being the one to stop the run. Well, have they beefed up the edge room to be able to knock him down a couple pegs? Not really in terms of talent, but in terms of size and run stoppability, they kind of have, right? The whole build of this Titans defensive line this year has been getting guys that can stop the run. So maybe there's a chance that this year Arden Key is able to be at his best situationally more often than the past couple seasons, and he leads the team with the 7 sacks. We'll say 7 sacks is 8. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, I'll say 8. I'll say 8 to be generous. Okay. We're optimistic this morning. Last question before we get to trivia. Who do you predict to be the Titans defensive MVP, JT? The guy that we are lauding as the heart and soul of the defense at the end of the year.
I'm gonna round out my off season with one more apology and say that it is Cody Barton. Cody Barton will be the MVP. He is the heart and soul. He is what is going to make this team finally click and be that middle of the defense kind of field general.
Okay. I'm kind of inclined to say the same. I'm inclined. If we were still in the take purge, I'd say L'Jarius Sneed. How about that? That'd be fun, right? That'd be good. Yes. But I'll say Cody Barton. Since you took Barton, you know what? I'll get off Barton. I'll say Jeff. I'll say bounce back year for Jeff. I'll say the haters are awfully quiet by the end of the year. He has a year similar to 2021 and 2022. Gets away from the past couple seasons of decline, and he becomes the guy that a lot of fans want him to be, a bona fide top 3, top 5 defensive tackle in the league. All right, that's it. That's our preview, our XL edition of the A to Z morning show. That is everything you'll hear from JT and I for the most part until we've got actual games to react to. Looking forward to this weekend. One last thing to do, JT, and that is some sports trivia on a Thursday. Shout out to our friends, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your... Is this breaking news that's pertinent to us?
Is it?
Well, I just saw Broncos breaking, and I was like, what? But it's because Nick Bonito, the guy that's probably going to feast on the Titans offensive line, just signed a 4-year extension for $100.
Okay.
So sorry about that. Sorry to Wilson County Hyundai, who you need to make a part of your new car buying process in WilsonCountyHyundai.com or in person in Lebanon. Okay. I was about to... a time to show and something crazy. Yeah. All right, JT, can you be our trivia master this morning?
Do
it if I need to do it. That's perfect.
Yeah, can you do it?
But if you can find the graphic for us,
Yes.
To thedozen.com and click share my screen, and you can hit it.
All right.
Cars caught my attention right away. I sure hope that's about the Pixar movie and not actual cars. You and I have done this before, haven't we? I think I've made that exact same joke before.
Maybe.
It didn't go great the first time we did it, but we got some college football, college basketball.
I don't remember it, so
I'm pretty sure we did it. Chat. Let's see if we have the over/under in the chat yet. I've not seen it.
So.
Okay, well, whatever it is, we'll probably go over. That's fine. Lock in. We need your help this morning, chat. Are you ready, JT?
Yes.
NFL. After winning the Super Bowl, the Ravens had this former Chiefs quarterback as their Week 1 starter in 2001, brother. I was 2. I was 1 year old.
Bork says the B team doesn't get over.
We're the B team or the C team?
We're not third string anymore. We made it back.
Who is this? Who is the Week 1 starter for the Ravens in 2001? I'm sure you old heads are going to know. Elvis G.
Elvis G. Gerbach?
See, the chat doesn't even know. I guess
Elvis Gerbach.
I think it's Gerbach. Yep, nice. From 58 to 05, the DeVille series was a model of cars produced by this automobile brand. Oh, man.
DeVille?
Yeah.
Heard
of the car. Who the heck makes them? Cadillac. Okay. Should have known the 05 thing because that's when Cadillac died. Television, Always Sunny actor Glenn Howerton had the lead role in this failed one-season 2002 Fox sitcom that shared a similar title to another Fox comedy. All of this old head trivia, man.
No idea.
I know who Glenn Howerton is. I did not know he did a failed one-season Fox sitcom.
In what year? 2000.
That 80s show? Oh, okay. They tried that, really? All right.
I've never heard of that.
Well, I know the reference now.
This is tough.
Yeah, well, chat's coming in clutch. This 2023 DC superhero movie sequel made less than $500 million after the original 18 film grossed more than $1 billion.
That's Aquaman.
Aquaman, yeah.
Yeah, the second Aquaman.
Never watched either of them.
Me neither, but people love them apparently.
Oh, the Lost Kingdom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get you on that one. Known as the lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish, this artist had a hit with the 2013 cover of the song Wagon Wheel.
Is that Darius
Rucker? Was he the lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish? Is that real?
I think so, yeah.
I did not know that, man. That's crazy. All right. In 2025, this fast food chain launched a line of beverages called Refrescas.
It's got to be Taco Bell.
Taco Bell?
Right?
What other fast food chain uses Spanish words?
I'm ripping Taco Bell.
Okay.
Why not?
Sure.
It's not, wait,
wrong.
Matt said, I saw Del Taco for a second. I said, oh, wait, hold on.
Roy Hibbert and Jeff Green helped lead this Big East school to the 2007 Final Four. Big East school in 2007.
Butler?
Was Roy Hibbert a Butler guy?
Oh, I don't know.
I want some confirmation from the chat. Georgetown? Okay.
Georgetown? Sure.
I got to click it. College football. During this 2014 season, this SEC school went from unranked to number 1 at one point.
Ooh.
Was that like one of the Mississippi schools?
That sounds right. Like
Ole Miss or Miss State?
Let's see if any. I think it is a Mississippi school.
Yeah, I think it was Mississippi State. I remember this because they beat Bama that year, I believe. I'm gonna try it. Nice.
Cool.
Good pull. Outside is Ben Affleck. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks right.
And the inside is the comedian. She did that terrible movie with John Cena. She's not particularly funny.
Schumer?
Schumer, yes.
Okay. Matt says Ben Affleck and Schumer.
That not bad. A 9 for 9, 345, whatever the over-under would have been. We definitely hit the under for the first time.
Yes.
As long as I could. It was on
and
the back
you know what?
Chat.
We have to give the props to the chat. Like Darius, they put the team on their back.
Flowers to the chat. They came in clutch on a number.
Thank
of
you,
those.
old heads.
Yeah, shout out to the old heads. We may not be the C team or the B team, but we are the Gen Z team, and that becomes a difficulty during trivia sometimes. All right, that's our show. One more morning show between now And the Titans.
You guys get Zach back.
Zach is back. It's the Zach's back Zach Attack show tomorrow. Zach and Austin will be doing an OG episode of the A to Z Morning Show tomorrow, and whatever Zach's been sitting on in terms of Titans takes rattling around in his brain between when he left the show for the summer and now, he'll unload all of them tomorrow. So tune in for the 3-hour megacast of the A to Z Morning Show tomorrow morning with Austin and Zach, and then we will be live here. JT and Austin will be live for the first pregame show of the year on Sunday. So tune in right before the Titans and the Broncos kick off. Remember, an afternoon game, so you'll get a little appetizer of the early morning games, a 12 o'clock window, and then tune in, tuck into the Titans Broncos game. Make sure you lock in with JT and Austin for the pregame, halftime, and postgame shows. I will be with Buck in Denver. We'll have plenty of coverage there for you guys. Looking forward to talking about some Titans football, some real Titans football, and of course, enjoy the first 2 games of the year tonight and tomorrow. Looking forward to those. Have a great rest of your day.